Hi, I'm Sabrina and this is my health risk assessment video. So if I ever look down, it's because I'm looking at my iPad to answer the questions. So to begin, we'll start with part one, which is the family health history. What I did notice was that I'm high in risk for 3 different diseases or conditions, and that is cancer, hypertension, and obesity. So with hypertension, there was a lot of people who had it on the male and the female side of families. So there was aunts, uncles, grandma, grandpa. So there was a decent amount of people who had hypertension, and cancer actually runs in my family. So my uncle had it. He's in his 30s and he had testicular cancer. Thankfully, he's in remission now. He had one testicle removed, but he still had 2 kids after that, so that's really good. But on the female side, I've had a couple aunts who've had breast cancer. But the good thing is, all the people who've had breast cancer have all kind of fought it and came out on top and are still in remission, so that's a good sign. But the third one is obesity, so that actually runs in the family. So those are my three highest risk for me. But part two, which is the personal health profile. Thankfully, even though I'm at risk for hypertension, my blood pressure is very good so far. So right now, every time I check it, it's usually 110/70. Whenever I get to like 120/80, I'm like, ooh, that's high. So like the normal range for people, like the 120/80, that's high to me. So number one, do I see my provider every year for a checkup? Yes, I thankfully do. I'm under my parents' insurance, so I'm trying to use their insurance while I'm still under their insurance. But they always kind of even message me or email me saying, "Hey, it's time for your checkup." Last year I actually had I think 2 or 3 doctor visits. One of them I went in for a concern, or I think it was just an annual checkup, and when they were doing the breast exam, they actually found one part that was a little harder and thicker than the others. So that was a little scary because it made me get an ultrasound, and I was terrified that I was going to have cancer. But thankfully, it was just a little kind of harder thing of fat or something. I forgot what they said, but I'm in the clear for that, thankfully. And another time I went in because I had some problems with acid reflux. So it's kind of on and off. Sometimes it gets really bad. Sometimes it's under control. Um, but they, the time I went in there, they tried to see what the cause was. I think I got an ultrasound of my abdomen, and they did the H. pylori test. So I had to blow in a bag and drink this nasty lemonade. But thankfully, or they found nothing. So it's just very much food based. I have to be really conscientious of what I eat, and that's what actually really kind of makes my acid reflux get better or get worse. Um, but my last check, I had to do another checkup because I need to get a TB test. But every time, thankfully, they've done blood tests. But that last checkup, there was no concerns. My doctor was fine and was fine with how I was doing. And like I said, they do blood tests every time, and they do a full panel that's like full STD panel, full blood, everything. So I'm clean. I'm good. So my my blood tests are really good. I'm in no risk for anything right now. And I do not smoke. I never will. Never plan to smoke. That stuff is nasty. Um, but yeah, like I said, blood ranges were never out of range, and I do not take any medications. Um, I I have the main supplements, I guess, that I use is elderberry gummies. My mom introduced it to our family. I guess it's really good for to boost your immune system, and it does help when you put it in the syrup in the tea. It helps coat your throat when you have a sore throat. But other than that, I try not to take any medications if I don't need to. Even when it comes to pain, I still don't really try to take any pain meds or anything. I gotta be really in pain if I if I take any pain meds. Um, I don't have any medical or physical conditions that require special attention, thankfully. So overall, pretty healthy at this moment. So which is good. Got to keep it that way. Which goes to part 3, which is my health, habits, and lifestyle assessment. So I'll just kind of start with going over what I got for each number, or what number I got for each section. So for exercise and fitness, I gave myself a 3. I definitely could improve on that. I put sometimes for basically everything for 1, 2, and 3. But number 4 is just maintaining a healthy weight. I put a 0 because I'm not at a healthy weight right now, so I didn't give myself credit for that one. But I put sometimes because there would be times where I'm like really good at working out, doing at least 30 minutes a day of some type of physical activity, but school gets in the way at this point. I need to stop making that as an excuse, but at this point this semester, we're at least trying to make your thing. We're trying to work out. Last semester, we at least worked out once a week. We did body combat together. Some of the classmates and I did body combat together at least once a week. So, but sometimes we're good at it, but it's not a good, consistent, I guess, exercise habit. And so, nutrition, I gave myself a 5. I'm I could be good at eating, but I'm not the best yet. I definitely have a lot of improvement, which is why I gave myself a 5. Um, I'm not really good about limiting the sugar that I eat. That's my kryptonite. I need to definitely eat more veggies. I do eat veggies, but I don't eat a variety of veggies or a variety of fruits. I stick to just spinach or just bananas or something like that. So that's a 5. Tobacco, I got a 10 out of 10. I don't smoke, like I said. Alcohol, also 10 out of 10. After my year being 21, I don't like drinking. My body doesn't agree with it. I try to stay away from drinking in general. I feel disgusting every time after I even drink like a bottle, or not a bottle, sorry, a glass of wine, anything. So I try to stay away. Stress management, I'm gave myself an 8. I overall good at managing my stress. I could be better. Where I kind of said that I need some improvement is just finding hobbies and finding things that are fun outside of work and school. I tend to just keep myself indoors and study, or just keep focusing on just work or just studying, and not giving myself enough time to do stuff for me and a lot of stuff to make myself happy and stuff like that. Which is why I have these bags right now. It's because last week I literally just focused on studying and school and everything, life, stress, all that stuff. But safety, gave myself a 10 out of 10. I'm very good about trying to drive in the speed limit, seatbelt, all that stuff. Definitely really good about being safe when it comes to reading labels and stuff like that. Try to be good. And I think that is it. Disease prevention, I gave myself a 9. I'm very good about trying to prevent any diseases. I get my immunizations I would get it even though we're kind of forced by school, but I've always stayed on top of it. And I try to go to all my medical screenings, getting pap smears. I try to maintain on top of them. And I try to do a lot of breast exams, even when I'm bored. I'm just kind of scared, I guess, so I kind of check them more than I kind of need to. And when it comes to sexually active, if I try to maintain that, make sure that's all nice and healthy and clean. I try to prevent everything. I don't want anything at all. So now just part 4 of what I could be better at, and what I need to kind of do to make my moderate and make my kind of severe at risk sections. And the part that I need the most help in is nutrition and physical activity. That is huge. And when I was reading the Understanding Normal and Clinical Nutrition book, I found a table, it's table 2.1. It shows all the key recommendations of dietary guidelines for America. And some key points that I found were making small decreases in beverage and food calories and increasing physical activity. That is very important. And then the second one is engaging in regular physical activity and reducing sedentary activities to promote health. And that's going to be huge in my prevention, is just actually kind of maintaining or kind of balancing how many calories I intake versus how much I actually burn. So I need to start kind of watching over how many calories I eat in a day and actually comparing that to how many calories I'm burning. And that can actually motivate me to kind of work out more and make myself kind of move and get up, because I like food. So I just kind of make sure I don't sit as much during the day, and I'm actually kind of burning those calories. So I could eat and I could enjoy. And just like I said, I don't eat enough of a variety of different vegetables, and they said it's important to consume a sufficient amount of vegetables, fruit, and fiber-rich foods. That's going to be huge, of just actually incorporating different types of vegetables and fruit into my diet versus just spinach or just broccoli. So that gets old really quick and you decide not that you're going to end up hating it. And then consuming foods with lower sugar and lower salt, that's going to be very important for me too. And another point that I found in the medical surgical nursing book by Rebar, this just paragraph that are kind of short couple of sentences that I found, was obesity is defined as a BMI over 30, and obesity puts a person at high risk for hypertension. And the American Heart Association recommends ingesting foods with more nutrients that have minerals, vitamins, fiber, and other nutrients, but are low in calories to improve cardiac health and to combat obesity. In order to get necessary nutrients, teach the patient to choose foods such as fruits, unrefined whole grain products, vegetables, and fat-free dairy products most often. It also should be recommended that he or she does not eat more calories than they burn every day. So again, those are going to be just the huge things of, instead of also just watching my calories, I'm just making sure the calories that I intake are actually nutritious and have the kind of vitamins and minerals and everything that I need, and a lot of the fiber and the vegetable intake. So instead of just eating a burger with a bun, replace it with the lettuce, or instead of getting fries on the side, get broccoli on the side. So it's just actually switching out foods that are not only less in calorie, but kind of using those calories as fuel to kind of make myself good during the day. So just eating more calories that are good for me. Not just taste good, but are just good for my body. And again, the huge thing is just combating the amount of calories I intake with activity. I'm too focused on studying, so I need to just make sure I get out there for at least 30 minutes, take a walk, do some sit-ups, just do anything that keeps myself active. And again, one last risk for me that I did notice and that I learned at Patho yesterday is about Barrett's esophagus. So they said that a person who struggles with GERD, after like a chronic case of GERD, they can end up getting Barrett's esophagus, is when the cells actually change because they're so damaged after all the acid that's kind of burned the esophagus. And once they get that, they're at a high risk for cancer. And that's esophagus cancer. So I need to be careful with that. I need to really make sure that I'm not letting my acid reflux get really bad, because I can end up getting the Barrett's esophagus, and I don't want that. That's terrifying. So again, just not only watching what I eat with like the fruits and veggies and working out, but just making sure I'm eating less high acidic foods. So kind of watching it on the caffeine, watching on the greasy foods. I can definitely never eat tomatoes, because that always kills me. That's already a thing that I've noticed for myself, is just I can't eat tomatoes. So I can't eat pizza. That kills me unless it's with pesto sauce. That's good for me. So just a lot of prevention, and also for the